Good afternoon, everyone. This is Greg Aden from Denver, Colorado, coming to you live with a special guest, Cesar Wurm. I know you're going to get to like this guy quickly. He's got a very impressive hospitality career, and a lot of you know out there, I had a career in hospitality. But more important, I'm reaching out to hospitality influencers because I believe there's a certain group of us that can really influence the up and coming leaders within hospitality, but we'll get to that in a minute. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing today. Who you're with, what is your goal, and tell us a little bit about. I see it as Associated Luxury Hotel International. You call
Yes.
it LHI, or anyway. Tell us about that, and where did this opportunity come from that lured you away from where you were before?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I've joined Alhai, Associated Luxury Hotels International. Well, it's my third week and just really loving it. And to your point, what we do, we're a membership-based global sales representation firm. So in
Okay.
essence, most of our members are non-branded or soft-branded asset that really are looking for that extra support to help drive right now groups and meetings. So
Sure.
whenever people plan conventions, also there's a lot of marketing opportunities, exposure of being tied up to a high-end luxury company like ours, been around for 30 years, and also continue to evolve. And we're about to launch a luxury leisure program and also some additional offerings. So it's a very exciting time to be part of the company. And that is exactly why I decided to join. As we're talking right before we started, timing has a lot,
Yeah.
to do with things. And I've been very fortunate in my career to have, great leaders, great opportunities. And this one came absolutely in the right time. And this way I can use all my experience from brands and on hotels and just applying a little bit different lenses, if that makes sense.
Terrific. On your if anyone were to investigate you, so to speak, or review you, you say that your some of your core strengths or your core opportunities to lead are strategy, servant leadership,
Mhm.
quality and diversity, revenue generation, sales and marketing. And I believe most of us listening can understand revenue generation, sales and marketing.
Right.
Tell me why servant leadership is important to you, and why do you find it a skill that you possess?
Yeah, servant leadership to me means that really, the people that necessarily reporting to me or as part of a team doesn't mean that they work for me. In my view, is the other way around. I work for them,
Mhm.
meaning that I gotta be able to provide the optimal support and allow them to an environment and be conducive to help them be at their best. So everyone is cranking at the best of their ability. And through life journey, I had my own life journey, losing my mom at 12, went through a challenging time for many years, had addiction with alcohol, and being fortunate to have 10 plus years sobriety. And during that sobriety piece, I think that I was being wired in a way for servant leadership, but that was really a big aha moment where it really unlocked so much that the fine line between people like you and I that have, we're blessed to have a great life, a lot of resources, great people around us, and those that may have nothing. It's very little the differences, right? It can be one bad choice away, one
Yeah.
luck event that you don't have control. So that really opened up, right, to me just to be of service to others that, in return end up being service to you.
Yeah.
Somehow always works that way. So yeah, that's kind of how I see it and what really leads me to live that every day.
Well, you had me. They're not here for me. I'm here. I'm there for them.
Yeah.
And to me, Caesar, that is the difference between arrogance and ego and all the other things that do not describe leadership. And whether you believe in servant leadership, and I know some of my audiences, they're already in. They've eaten they drank the Kool-Aid and eaten the apple, etc. But when I was leaving IHG, I literally recognized I wasn't really working with people who even knew what it was.
Yeah.
And as I interviewed them, so to speak, and not even knowing I was going to leave IHG at the time, I was just interested in the topic. And Robert Greenleaf made this servant leadership really interesting, important, sexy, if you will, back in the early 70s. But you a word that you didn't bring up, and I can't imagine losing my mom at 12. That must have been humbling.
Mm,
uh,
mm,
my parents got divorced when I was 10, 11-ish. And, one of my rocks, and still is my mom. And
mm,
I'm not a mommy's boy, but I would say that she is one of my best friends. And I
mm,
can, because we can talk about anything. And she shares with
mm,
me, I share with her, and she's remarried now. And shout out to George, my step pop.
mm,
But and thanks for sharing your struggles. Not everybody understands what it's like to be addicted to something, or
mhm.
because I'm addicted to work. Well,
Yeah.
that's okay. But you're probably, not you, but those that are addicted to work are probably addicted to money too.
Yeah.
And money is a nice thing to have. I'll just leave it at that. Um, what were some of the people, Cesar, that helped you come along? And regardless of the age or the year or where you worked, but who are these people, and why would you call them important to your success?
Wow. That's sounds like an easy question, but it's pretty complex, right? Because I've been fortunate to have so many wonderful people in my life. And to your point, just even though I lived only 12 years with my mom, she had an amazing impact. And speaking necessarily by how she treated people, how she was humble and always was curious to learn others people's perspective to then think, okay, how I'm going to respond or what I can learn from this. So that has been something that I carried all my life. And then you and I don't know, I hope people have wonderful friends. So I have many still childhood friends that one of them actually got me started in hotels and hospitality. So that has been, of course, a fantastic impact where it really showed me a path that I had no idea when I was considering entering the workforce and or studying. I ended up studying hotel school. I didn't know was such a thing, right? That was a career, and that was wonderful. And then through my jobs, my roles, I had great leadership examples from Brad Rahinsky. He owns his own management company now, and he was my first boss in Atlanta. Or Paul Breslin, my first general managers. Those people that really sees the opportunities, that see, okay, this person may have potential. They're not ready yet for that
Mm.
role, but hey, I know they can do it. And I've had several of those instances in my career. Tim Dallin, Mary Louise Fitzgibbon, Ricardo Lopez, Brian Hicks. So a lot of these people that really, I think, saw potential in me, trusted that I could deliver, and gave me a shot sometimes before I was ready.
Yeah, you talking about Brian Hicks from IHG?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, shout out Brian Hicks. He'll know both of us. Yeah, he was a crucial part of the services organization back when I was in franchise sales. A lot of respect for Brian. And you mentioned a childhood friend recommended or suggested hospitality, and you should have seen the look on your face, because it was, and you said it just minutes afterward or seconds afterwards. I didn't even know it was an industry. It is a huge industry, and it's all about people. And that's what I find interesting about being in this industry. Heck, I started out in Tasty Freeze. I was a dishwasher,
Uh,
busboy, bellman, blah, blah, blah. And now I understand what I didn't understand then, how important it is to take care of other people.
mm,
And Marriott, I worked for them for 8 years, and I actually met Marriott Senior, Mr. Marriott Senior. He
wow.
came to Tanterra Resort where I was a bellman, and we just struck up a conversation, and I said something like, "What's the secret?" And he said, "When you take care of the people that are in your house, then and only then can you take care of the people who visit your house." And
Mm,
it made it so simple for me. And I've said this 1,000 times since 1982 when I met him. And we try and overcomplicate it. but take care of the people you've invited to stay with you. Yes, they're paying you. I get all that. But the brands and it doesn't really matter. It matters the people who are in these hotels, the human beings taking care of other human beings. And I can see you nodding right here. And so where did you get the bug? When did you finally, or when did you first realize, I should say, that this is a place for you to grow up in?
Yes, it was my first job actually at the Renaissance Hotel in Sao Paulo. They just had opened, brand new hotel, beautiful, still there. And I got a job overnight busboy for room service. And I think to your point, that's where I realized that, wow, my job, of course, is to clean the trays and help set up like mise en place and all that. But at the end of the day, is take care of people,
Yeah.
take care, make sure that the guests that are there, that they're happy. And in tandem with that, develop amazing friendships and relationships with everyone that's in back of the house, in the kitchen, restaurants, front desk. And I said, whoa, this is amazing, right? I always enjoyed being with people, being around people. And that really was it for me. And then I decided, okay, I'll study this and try to make a career out of it.
Yeah. How many years ago was that when you were in Sao
Oh,
Paulo?
that was 98. So 27 years.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So when you were first invited to join the organization you are with now, what was the main reason you said yes? And who invited you to play?
Yeah. So who invited me? It was my boss, current boss, Ashley Baldwin. And she and I, met several years ago, to your point about the industry and the collaboration. So I've known and worked with her as a customer as well. And to your point, it was just it's two things. One, as soon as I answered the phone and she said, it was just a gut feeling, right? That
Mm,
I can't describe. She just said, hey, we're looking, this is the role is a new role. It's going to be focused on X, Y, and Z, taking care of our members, and just felt like so right. But then what sealed the deal, to your point, is the CEO, right? Mike Dominguez, an amazing leader, caring leader, and the culture, the belief, that's what sealed the deal for me. Because at this point in my career, money, of course, is always important. But to me, where I work, how business is conducted, what's the environment, is way more important than more money, right?
yeah. Culture. Tell me about culture and what do you believe culture means to you? And again, it's you got to see the smile on your own face when you said it. Gut feeling, but the culture.
Yeah.
It's not just Ashley and Mike. It's got to be a lot of other people. What makes it a great culture at this organization?
Yeah. It's so I think culture, in my view, you can have two ways, right? You can do nothing and you're going to have a culture because someone or something's going to fill that void, or it can be an intentional culture. And I
Mm,
think that's something that uh, they have been very focused for several years, and especially more so in these last 3 years, to really be focused on, this is who we are, this is how we carry on our business, this is how we treat our internal people, this is how we treat our customers, our members. And it's really go back to that servant leadership mentality where I saw personal alignment, personal value. And uh, and then last week I was in Dallas on part of my onboarding meeting with everyone, and that just validated everyone that you
mm,
meet. They may not use the same words necessarily, but they speak to the same thing, the same
yeah.
beliefs, the same system, and that was just a validation that, yes, this is it, right?
Yeah, common beliefs, being on the same page, all
Hmm.
to me all lead to alignment. And alignment to me with all the customers I work with, if we're not aligned, excuse me, if they're not aligned as a leadership team and they're not all on the same page, that doesn't mean we believe everything is the same, but I'm talking about the main principles that make up a wonderful culture. And when someone hires me to come in and fix their culture, I don't fix the culture. I address the behaviors,
Mm,
the good ones and the bad ones. I address the ones that are being allowed by the people who have blinders on. Come in and fix my team. Well, guess what? I can't fix your team unless you're willing to make some adjustments. By the way, you said 3 years ago, was there some change at the top that changed the culture to the better? Or was it just the 3 years that you've known of this organization?
yeah, it's 3 years since Mike has been the CEO, so he's been leading, most recently the efforts there and being very thoughtful on the approach. But of course, right, don't want to disregard all the leaders came before because it's been
Sure.
amazing culture for 30 years. So yeah,
Yeah. They have an outstanding reputation.
yes,
What you said about the intentional culture, you said there could be two types. One, it just kind of exists, it's there, but intention around who we are and who we're being. A lot of people don't even understand what that means, but to me, it is who are you being? How are you behaving? How are you communicating? What words are you using? What tone are you using? And
Mhm.
we don't realize whether it's in our house or in a hotel or in a big organization, it's how we say things
Mm,
and when we say it and why. And the communication is so huge in creating a culture. And but what I loved about your comment is how they treat the internal customer. Because without, back to the Marriott comment, if the house isn't aligned and we're not all on the same page, it's not that we eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches the same way, but we agree to what's the ingredients of a successful organization. And it doesn't have to be really difficult. And we can put everything we believe on the wall and we walk by it. And well, whether we've agreed to it or not, that's a whole nother thing. I mean, are you
yeah,
told to behave this way or do you want to behave this way? And you can
yeah,
imagine the latter gets the people who are, I want to be here. I don't
yes.
I don't need to be here. I want to be here. And that's a whole nother podcast. But something you would say to someone who's been in the industry, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years, they're starting to get their feet under them. Maybe they started out as a sales manager, now they're a director of sales. What would you tell them relative to not where they are now, but where they might be in 5 years? I'm curious.
Yes. Well, I would say that really the opportunities are truly endless. I think our industry may not be one off, but it's definitely one that presents so many opportunities because in essence, someone that works in hospitality anywhere and any job, you're free to go anywhere in the world. Number
Mhm.
one, right? Of course, there's visas and all that, but taking that aside, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of opportunities and different paths for you to take. And to your point, if you're in a place where you align with the culture, you enjoy where you are, you're valued, you're presented with opportunities for growth, wonderful, right? Stay and stay until it's time to move on, right? Or that opportunity presents. And if you're in a place where it just doesn't feel that great, in my opinion, probably there should be a place that will feel that way because there's so many different roles, so many different type of leadership. So I would say just don't give up yet because the one beautiful thing about our industry is that degrees are important and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's all about performance, right? And if someone performs, there will be opportunities for you to grow and continue development.
Yeah. I hear you on growth and I hear you on being valued. And if you're not in a place where you're being seen or heard or valued, and there's a book out there called The Art of Alignment by Patty Beach, and I reference it a lot because what I believe anybody needs, and she says this in her book, whether you're an employee or a leader, we want to be seen. That's the S. That's Shuva. We want to be heard. We want to be understood. We want to be valued, and we want to be appreciated. And those are human being wants and needs, not a title's wants and needs. And I believe my message to the young people would also be there are endless opportunities. So my last question for you, Cesar, is what really makes you happy? You're obviously a good guy. People want to hire you, but internally, what really makes you smile?
Wow, my my family. We're fortunate to have a daughter, 14 years old, And they're really the rock for me to be able to you know realize that I had to change my life
Yeah.
and get sober, stay sober, and then really just continue to improve as a person. And I love whenever I can see that I know my health, mental and physical, keeps improving, that I'm able to contribute more to causes that I care about, and volunteering and really just doing things that fill your heart, and you feel you're making a difference and helping people along the way. That really is what drives me.
Beautiful. And by the way, have no idea what you went through, but I hear you when you say you had to. But you know what? You didn't have to. You wanted to. And whether it was your wife and your daughter who said, "Hey, you can do this," you you made a really significant choice. And I just want to recognize you for that. And a lot of people don't pull themselves out.
Mm,
They blame others. And it sounds like you looked in the mirror one day and said, "I'm better than this." And
yes.
two people said, "Yeah, you are, honey or dad," or, whatever they call you. But
Mhm.
Cesar, it's been a joy to have you on the show.
Oh,
I hope you shared what you wanted to share, and call out to all the people that helped you along the way. I know you're going to send that list to me, but thank you. I really enjoyed our conversation today.
it's my honor. Likewise.
We'll go out and continue to be a servant leader, help people grow. Good luck to you at your new organization. And shout out to Mike Dominguez. I hope you hear what Cesar said. You've made a significant difference and continue doing what you're doing over there. So, again, thanks for being my guest, and we'll be in touch.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Thank you very much. Everybody that enjoyed this, please like it, love it, share it, and continue to look in the mirror and ask yourself, what could you do a little bit better? Who could you serve a little bit differently? And whether you believe in servant leadership or not, take care of the people that are taking care of the people that you say are important to you. God bless and have a great day. Well, first of all, I want to thank my partners and friends at Intera Works, integrating learning to transform potential into results, or simply stated, we're elevating the human experience through tools like Effective Edge, Best Year Yet, and Essentials. If you haven't found out about Intera Works yet and you're interested at all in developing better leaders, please look them up, interaworks.com. Well, my guest, Cesar, what an amazing man. I think we had each other, so to speak, at servant leadership. He talked about all the people that were important to him, and mentioned all those names. So my question to you is, how many times have you thought about the reason you're here, or the reason you're great, or really, really good at what you do? Have you reached out to those people that helped you come along and said, "Thank you, I appreciate you"? Via LinkedIn, send them a note, pick up the phone. And as a hospitality professional myself, I got really excited when he said it's endless opportunities in hospitality. Where he started, where I started, where thousands of us have started, and look at where we are now. Not everyone's still in the industry, but you can't imagine how many connections people have made when they get into hospitality. So I ask you, if you haven't decided what you want to do, or maybe you're ready for a change, check out the hospitality industry for sure. And who have been the best examples for your growth and development? And again, it doesn't take long to reach out and say, "I appreciate you." I hope you enjoyed this interview with Cesar, and please stay tuned for the next guest here on Servant Leadership Podcast.